Welcome to the RadioU Podcast. I'm Hudson.
And I'm Allie.
Coming up, what is suffering maxing?
Also, did the government finally find a way to generate income that isn't from taxpayers?
All that and more on the way next. We love to see this here at RadioU. Ads disappearing. That's exactly what's happening recently at Mercedes-Benz Stadium in Atlanta, where there's video of this. We can send it to you if you send Mercedes-Benz. That's hard. Just send Benz to 8772 RadioU. There's video of them covering up the giant Mercedes-Benz logos on Mercedes-Benz Stadium in Atlanta.
Okay.
Allie, do you know why they're doing this?
I mean, I'm looking at the article right now, so I'm seeing that the reason is the FIFA World Cup.
Yeah. The World Cup, I didn't know this was the rules. I guess because every other World Cup in my lifetime has been overseas in stadiums I've never heard of.
Yeah.
And so I
Stadiums
just thought,
that have been newly built.
Yeah.
Not as famous as Mercedes-Benz.
and so that's shit. I just thought that's what they were called when they said, and we go live to whatever stadium in Brazil it was. But the rules for the World Cup is that they don't want any advertising that basically isn't kind of like done directly through FIFA, so like the official partners.
Right.
And so that includes all the stadium naming rights for any place that will be hosting a World Cup game. They, like, Mercedes-Benz Stadium is going to be called Atlanta Stadium during the World Cup, and they have to cover all logos that can be seen from anywhere.
Right.
Even if it's only on the top of the stadium from the sky in a helicopter, they still have to cover it all up. It's crazy.
Yeah. I feel like I definitely maybe didn't know this, but I've always noticed that during the World Cup, they would always call the stadiums by the name of the town or city that they were playing in. And like I said, oftentimes these are new stadiums newly built. And so they're not as...
that's a good point. Like the Qatar World Cup.
Right. Well,
they probably built all of those stadiums just for the World Cup. They didn't have names yet.
They didn't have names yet. Or, in Brazil, some of them were in very remote areas. And so these are not places where stadiums normally would be. So they're not as famous as Mercedes-Benz Stadium or Hard Rock Stadium, which is also going to have its stuff covered up. And it's probably going to be called, Miami Stadium or something.
Right.
So I think I knew this, but didn't really understand that was like a rule in FIFA.
Yeah. I mean, I'd be thoroughly upset if I was one of these sponsors. You think about the millions upon millions of dollars they paid to have the naming rights for these stadiums, and it doesn't get acknowledged during the biggest event in the world.
Right.
But I mean, I have to assume that depending on how long you go back, Mercedes-Benz Stadium has been Mercedes-Benz Stadium for a while.
Yeah.
So the World Cup may not have even been a thought that they were hosting it there.
I'm sure it wasn't.
But at the same time, it's probably like, it's always a possibility that one of these stadiums could be hosting. So either way, I'd be upset. But also, they host so many NFL games and college football events and blah, blah. Like, I guess they've got their money's worth.
Right. They get their name tossed out there all the time. And I'm sure people will still be calling it Mercedes-Benz Stadium.
We know what it's called.
Yes. Like, we know what it looks like.
People still call it Minute Maid Park in Houston, even though that's not what it's been named for years.
I mean, I still every once in a while call it Jacobs Field, even though it's been progressive forever. So,
okay, boomer.
Exactly.
It's always Mercedes-Benz Stadium to me, but not to FIFA.
Yeah.
And not to all the people around the world watching the World Cup that have never heard of it before.
Right.
Florida man is at it again, and he's getting started young. 8772 RadioU or the talkback button in the new RadioU app. These are Florida teens, two of them.
Okay.
Imagine this, Allie. Imagine you're shopping at Target. Sounds nice. Until you see, or perhaps hear first, driving through the store, a lawnmower.
What?
What do you do? What do you do if you're just an innocent shopper at a Target and somebody drives by inside in on a lawnmower?
I'd get my phone out and start videoing.
Of course you would. You wouldn't do something helpful?
Nope.
You just start filming it.
I'd start filming. Or maybe I would call for somebody. I don't know.
Yeah, that's what I was thought too. Is like, do you call an employee? like they don't know.
Right. I think I would call more like 911.
Yeah. But probably you just start filming, which is kind of exactly what these teens wanted. They did get arrested it was two guys,
my God,
18-year-olds for driving a lawnmower through a Target store. The driver, because obviously like they don't have lawnmowers inside at a Target, but I guess they had, I don't know if this is their lawnmower from home or because I don't think Target sells lawnmowers, do they?
I don't think so.
Not my Target, but so what I first thought was maybe it's one of those lawnmowers where they have them like outside Lowe's and they'll have them all lined up outside.
Right.
And I'm thinking, even those, could you even get those started up? Probably not. Like they probably don't have gas and the keys. Anyways, so I guess there's a lawnmower he brought from home. So how did he get into the Target store? He crashed through the glass entrance doors.
Yeah, he basically breaks the door to get through.
Yeah.
Because it's too wide. He's riding like the big, almost like the zero turn mower, you know. So it's a little too wide for this Target door, and he just like breaks his way through.
And so obviously that's a problem and that's a crime. They did damage to property. I don't know if simply driving a lawnmower through Target is a crime on its own, but once you break the doors,
it might be added to the books.
But this was not their first crime this weekend.
No.
They also prior had gotten kicked out of Culver's and caused an issue there as well when they brought different gardening equipment indoors. At Culver's, they brought a leaf blower inside. What's worse than a leaf blower? A leaf blower inside.
Yeah, a leaf blower inside near food.
Yeah.
And that's not what we want. So, yeah, these kids do need to learn a lesson.
And so how was it two of them? Well, one of them was the one doing the actual stunt. And then the other one
was filming it.
Was filming it. It's all for social media.
Of course.
Which then again, if you're just like along for the ride and then you film it on social media, is that a crime? Apparently. Maybe if you're egging the person on.
I would say you're an accessory because you're definitely like you're an accomplice.
They've both been charged with criminal mischief and disorderly conduct, but the person filming also faces a charge for participating. I don't know what that means.
Participating in the chaos.
But that's what people had to deal with in Target and Culver's in Ocala, Florida this weekend.
Yeah. I'm glad I've never had to deal with this in a Target, and I hope I never have to.
Yeah. This is just what you sign up for, I guess, living in Florida. You just never know.
Yeah, they really are starting them early.
Yeah. Another night of playoff action in the NBA and NHL sets up some exciting comeback scenarios when we want to know from you which team is most likely to pull off a comeback right now. 877-2 Radio U or the talkback button in the new Radio U app. Allie, NHL or NBA, any team that's down 3-1 or I guess 3-2 in the Penguins case. But ignore the Nuggets because I don't think that counts.
The Nuggets are down 3-2, right?
Yeah, that doesn't count. The Anthony Edwards, Dante DiVincenzo, the Wolves are injured. The Nuggets are like massive favorites in both of the last two games. I don't think that counts.
Okay. Let me see here. For any series that's just 3-1 or what's?
Yes.
Okay.
Give me a team that's down 3-1. Or if you want to add the Penguins, they're down 3-2 now, but they were down 3-0 before last night.
Yeah, I mean, I guess the Penguins probably have the best chance.
By the way, did you see the goal that wound up winning the game last night?
I did not.
It was Chris Letang of the Penguins. He shoots it at the net. It goes like around over the net or whatever. It bounces off of the boards behind the net, bounces into the goalie's back, kind of. He's standing off to just to the side of the net. So it bounces off his back as he's moving, which makes it ricochet
into the net. No
off of
way.
his back. Yeah.
Whoa, what about...
And that was the game-winning goal.
That's some good luck for the Penguins, some bad luck for the Flyers. That is crazy.
But, Allie, the Pistons are down 3-1. The Rockets are down 3-1.
The 76ers
the Oilers are down 3-1. Yeah, the 76ers. Give me a team that's going to make a comeback.
And the Trailblazers are down 3-1. I don't like any of these teams coming back from being down 3-1. I don't know. I don't know if I see anybody making it. Maybe, I mean, if I could have picked from yesterday, maybe the Penguins, because they're the higher seed in that situation against the Flyers. So it's not impossible to see them coming back. But
then why don't you say the Pistons?
The Pistons are the higher seed, but I kind of felt like them coming into the playoffs. They were like a 1 seed, but not really the number 1 team out of the East.
Yeah.
Because I told you, I experienced this as a Cavs fan. This is the JB Bickerstaff experience. You have an amazing, incredible regular season. You get to the playoffs and you just don't look like the same team at all.
Yeah.
Even with Cade Cunningham back, they do not look like the same team. This is the Magic. The Magic were the team that looked terrible at the end of the regular season, and somehow they're the ones that are going to upset and bounce the Pistons.
I wanna pat myself on the back a little bit for the Magic situation, because I remember when we did our basketball podcast, I said, aren't the Magic better off because they lost to the 76ers, so they didn't have to play the Celtics?
Yeah.
And then obviously you have a do-or-die game against the Hornets, which they won, but then you get the Pistons, and after the Magic lost to the 76ers in that game, I was like, oh, it looked like they weren't even trying. Maybe they weren't.
Yeah.
Maybe they knew. Maybe they were like...
they were like, we don't
Maybe they
want
punted
the
on that game because they looked so bad that nobody was believing. But then I said I picked them to beat the Hornets because, going back to the playing game, because I was like, there's a diamond in the rough with this Magic team. They have the talent. They have more talent than the Pistons.
I don't think you actually did pick them outright, did you?
Yeah, I did. Y'all were picking the Hornets, you and Nene.
Well, I think we all said the Magic had lost the magic. And now they seem to have it back.
You have to check the tape because I picked the Magic and I.
Okay, mister, I know everything about basketball.
I think the Pistons are the classic team too that is like they're
the Cavs from a couple years ago who were the number 1 seed.
They haven't had regular season success with this team yet, so they go through the season and, they're trying real hard, but then you don't have another level that you can get to yet
Yes, you've already peaked.
And the Magic, they've got a couple playoff series in their history, not particularly good ones, but they're the more talented team, I think, and so...
I don't even know if I would agree with that.
I just think the Pistons are Cade Cunningham and nobody else. The Magic have Banchero, they have Franz, they have Desmond Bane, who's turned into a monster, and Nene was criticizing that trade not too long ago. So I didn't know.
Well,
I don't think they're going to the finals.
This conversation switched to let's talk about the Magic from who should win a 3-1 series, who can win a 3-1 series and come back. I think the only team that really has a chance is the Penguins, who are down 3-1.
They were down 3-0.
Yeah.
It looked bad.
It did. And so if they could come back from 3-0, has that happened in the NHL
Yeah,
playoffs?
that's what I was going to say. If it's going to happen, it's much more likely in the NHL than the NBA.
Yeah.
It doesn't happen in the NBA.
Yeah, I don't know if anyone's ever come back from 3-0. People have obviously come back from 3-1. But I don't know if anyone's ever come back from 3-0.
The Heat did it the other year, right? They came back from 3-0 against the Celtics.
Okay.
And then lost in Game 7.
So they didn't complete it. Yeah, so you gotta complete it for it to count.
It's not happening, but if it was, that's the Rockets.
The Rockets?
Yeah.
Wow. This is news breaking in space update right now.
Okay.
The government has finally found a way to make some money on their own without taking money from all the rest of us. Because
they're not taxing us for NASA anymore?
They're still taxing us, but maybe this will help them tax us less. Maybe. So this is exciting though. But the U.S. government is moving to start charging private rocket companies like SpaceX for launches, ending years of largely fee-free operations.
So hold up. So SpaceX has just been able to just shoot stuff into space for free.
Well,
for free.
Not for free, but they've been able to use NASA's launch pad. They've been able to use Cape Canaveral, whatever. The different.
We don't charge rent on that stuff?
I guess we weren't charging them, or at least not charging them a lot, because it says largely fee-free. So I guess we weren't charging them much, if anything. But this new policy is going to have the Federal Aviation Administration charging companies based on payload weight, starting at about 25 cents per pound in 2026.
Okay.
And then fees would increase gradually over time, potentially reaching around $1.50 per pound by 2033, significantly, raising the cost for launches.
Yeah.
So this will be interesting to see what exactly this is going to do to some of these private companies as far as limit how many launches they can do.
Yeah. I mean, okay, here's a question, not necessarily that you can answer, but how, like for SpaceX, for example, it's a private company, right?
Yeah.
So it's for profit. How do they make a profit?
I have no idea.
Who are they getting money from?
I mean, they get money from investors is my assumption.
Well, what are the investors investing? How are they going to get a return on their investment?
I think they're investing in technology, and then that tech is being used in other industries, not just in space.
Yeah.
Because you have to remember SpaceX, while yes, their main mission is space, like they're also a tech company.
Mm-hmm.
Same thing with Tesla. They make cars, but they also make tech. And that tech can be used in other industries, in other cars, in other manufacturing things that aren't even cars.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's Elon Musk's big goal, is to make technology that's used across the board in all sorts of different industries. So I think they get most of their money from investment into that type of stuff. But this is going to limit what they can do, especially because they were very reliant on partnerships with NASA to be able to even launch in the first place.
Yeah.
Now, SpaceX had a leg up on all of the other private companies because they could reuse a lot of their stuff. They developed it that way, which is really smart. I don't know why NASA never thought of that. But this could mean like SpaceX will either have to limit how many launches they do, or what I think will more likely happen, they're going to invest in creating their own launch pads, their own, space station, whatever, and just not even try and use Cape Canaveral anymore, not even try to use Kennedy Space, like none of that stuff.
I guess at some point you could say we're only doing launches that are NASA launches every so often.
Yeah.
So that launch pad is,
it's not getting used.
Largely unused. But at the same time, you just let someone else use it.
For free. Right.
When we paid to build that? Are you joking me?
Yeah, you should get at least 25 cents per pound on the payload.
Is this right, though? There's a $30,000 per launch limit?
I did not know that. I guess that'll
accurate.
That will be new.
That's nothing. That's like that's no money. It's not nothing.
Yeah.
But SpaceX is not going to care about $30,000.
No, that's nothing to them.
Yeah. So, unless they never make a profit, which I don't understand. This seems like a story straight out of a cartoon. 8772 Radio U. Or the talkback button in the new RadioU app. A Customs and Border Patrol bomb-sniffing dog, the Merla the Beagle, just uncovered somebody's secret stash of 100 sandwiches.
Why? Why do they need that many sandwiches?
I feel like they wanted a taste of home when they came to the United States, maybe. And this was a very cheap option. But what's funny is, like, okay, to me it seems like something out of a cartoon because it's like, I'll hide the sandwiches in my luggage so that the dog will be distracted and it won't smell the other thing, the gun that I'm not supposed to have.
Yeah.
But the dog actually did its job. These sandwiches aren't supposed to come into the United States either.
Oh.
Not that there was anything wrong with the particular sandwiches themselves, but the person that was trying to bring these 100 sandwiches into the United States didn't declare them. And so when
they were trying not to have to pay anything on them or something?
I guess, even though it should have been incredibly cheap. These sandwiches are the kind of sandwiches that are basically sold at like 7-Eleven. They're like 77 cents each.
Okay.
Is what it says here. And they're all like prepackaged and everything. So it's not like they just made sandwiches.
Right.
So I know maybe you're thinking like, not you, but I mean, somebody could be thinking like, oh, so they like made the sandwiches and it looks like it has mayonnaise, but it's drugs or whatever. These are just regular sandwiches.
Yeah, they're prepackaged sandwiches. It looks like somebody maybe is trying to, I don't know, maybe profit off of them for some reason.
Profit off of the 77. They're going to sell them for $1 each.
Yeah. So it says that
A hard way to make an easy living.
it says they're often sold at high volume in convenience stores like 7-Eleven. These particular sandwiches are extremely inexpensive in Thailand, which is where they were bought, I guess. And so maybe they were trying to like buy them in Thailand super cheap and then sell them in the U.S.
For slightly less cheap.
Well, it says the price for them in Thai is the 77 cents. Like that's the conversion. I doubt they're that cheap at 7-Eleven. There's probably not that much, but like I doubt that they're 77 cents.
I mean, it's a lot of sandwiches so to just have on your own. So I guess it could have been a money-making scheme, but it still feels like a
very odd one.
Yeah.
A very hard way to make money.
Maybe they were just like, they went and okay, with family in Canada and everything, sometimes you go to Canada.
And you bring back snacks from Canada.
Yeah, definitely. And you bring back a lot because you don't know the next time you go or you need enough to last you.
I used to do that all the time with my parents. I'd tell them, bring me back this thing from
I feel like,
Zambia.
I don't know if there's something special about these sandwiches. It doesn't seem like it, but maybe this person just really likes these sandwiches and wanted to. And they're like, what's the big deal? But they literally have like a suitcase full of them.
Yeah, it's a lot of sandwiches.
But when you're traveling internationally, you have to declare this stuff. They give you the little form when you're flying on a plane. You have to declare what you have. This person didn't declare either because they didn't know or because they were trying to actually like smuggle these. But yet again, just having a whole suitcase of them seems like you're going to get caught if you were smuggling. So they probably just didn't know they were doing anything wrong.
They probably didn't know, but also very suspicious.
Unfortunately for them, because they didn't declare them out of safety, like they have to do this, these sandwiches were all trashed.
Yeah.
They're gone, destroyed. Yeah. I wonder if Merla the beagle got to destroy them since she found them.
Yeah, the big problem with it was that it included things that are called like agricultural items, which is like lettuce, meat, anything like that. It has to be declared.
Just to be safe, because even though these are prepackaged, there's not really a difference in anybody's eyes of the government's eyes of whether you're bringing your own lettuce that you grew in a garden in Thailand, which could have pesticides or,
and the
bugs
standards
or diseases
of what's allowed to be sold in other parts of the world versus what's allowed to be sold in the United States, very different. So they have to make sure they look over to make sure that these are safe to sell them in the U.S.
Shout out to Merla the beagle.
Doing her job.
Yeah, Scooby-Doo would have failed at this, I think. Love them or leave them on Radio U Mornings. Help out with this situation. Send in your advice to 8772-RADIO-U or use the talkback button in the Radio U app. We have a gal who says, subject line, how do I get my boyfriend to stop suffering maxing?
What?
What a way to put it. She says, I know that sounds a little weird, but hear me out. My boyfriend really hates spending money on himself and then complains about it.
Okay.
It makes no sense. He earns 6 figures.
Whoa.
Must be nice.
Yeah.
He has no debt or loans and virtually no cost of living. His parents bought his apartment.
Bought it?
Yeah. Here's a few examples of what I mean. He often complains that his colleagues are so well dressed and polished, but he still wears clothes that his mom got him when he was 16.
Oh, okay.
That are mostly too small or have holes. He refuses to go shopping for new stuff because he, quote, doesn't know what to get. But also gets upset when I point out nice outfits that would suit him or offer to buy him clothes. Also, for food, he only eats fruits and vegetables when I buy them and says how much he loves it. But when he's alone, he lives off of noodles, yogurt, and bread. He'll even eat moldy and expired food just so it doesn't get thrown out.
Moldy food. No.
Hear me out. No.
No.
When I dispose of his expired stuff, he gets upset. He once fed me expired eggs without me knowing, resulting in a trip to the ER.
Yeah, that's not good. That's not good.
He also complains about his haircut, but he refuses to go to a better barber because it's $10 more. She gives a few other examples, but I think that we get the point.
Yeah.
She also says, his suffering maxing is so bad it's starting to imprint on me. Sometimes I feel bad for replacing my shoes when they have holes. I feel guilty for showering with warm water for too long. Or having a smoothie every morning instead of stale bread with nothing.
No.
It's starting to really annoy me. I need help understanding what causes this and how I can gently encourage him to get things he likes, live a little, and embrace growth. What should I do?
Oh my goodness, we've all met this person. We got to help this girl out.
8772 Radio U or the talkback button in the Radio U app. You know somebody like this? Did you used to be like this? Complaining about not being able to have nice things even though you absolutely could?
Yes, you easily could afford something better than stale bread or expired eggs.
Yeah. 8772 Radio U or the talkback button in the new Radio U app. Let us know your thoughts, your advice. We have a gal who says her boyfriend is a suffering maxer. I don't know if she coined that term, but it kind of seems like it. I've never heard that before.
I've never heard of this.
Basically, she claims he makes six figures, but complains he has very little expenses because I guess he doesn't pay rent. He has a good job, but he will not buy himself new clothes. He's still wearing the clothes his mom got him when he was 16.
Even though it has holes in it.
But he says he doesn't know what to get, so he won't buy himself his own stuff. And when his girlfriend says she'll buy something, he gets upset for some reason.
Or if she points to clothes that she thinks would suit him well, he gets upset. He will only eat fruits and vegetables and like fresh food when she cooks it for him. But on his own, he's eating noodles and bread and letting it get expired. I guess, 'cause if you're living alone, it's easy to let stuff. That part sounds like normal boy behavior.
I understand that, yeah. But what can she do? Because it's not, he's like hoarding all his money.
Yeah.
And then complaining about not being happy with the stuff that he has. That's
the part to me that doesn't make a lot of sense because it's like you're not spending money, but then you're also complaining about the fact that you don't have these things, and it's like you have the ability to get these things.
Right. We heard from Susanna who said at 8772 Radio U, I would give advice, but honestly, I'm a suffering maxer too. I didn't know we had a name for it.
Oh no, Susanna, no.
The first step is naming your whatever, I don't know.
Whatever this condition is.
Yeah, your condition. That's what I was looking for.
Name it and then overcome.
Right.
And then we heard from William. He says, what I would do is have him figure out how much his monthly living expenses are. Then I would put a certain amount of his paycheck into a savings account, knowing this could be used to make you and your significant other's lives and living situation a little better without feeling guilty about it.
That is, obviously I haven't read through all the text yet, but that is the nicest advice. Yeah. That's honest and straightforward is just like basically budget.
Yeah. Budget it out so that he can know, because sometimes you just need a little bit of like boundaries or, an outline, guidelines.
I think the charitable way of assessing the situation is he doesn't actually realize how much money he's making versus how much he's spending.
Right.
And it's that in a good way.
Yeah. It's a good thing.
Yeah. We heard from Dylan who says, sounds like some control issues mixed with unrealistic fears and insecurities. I think the first step is taking a step back and identifying what caused the bad feelings with all those situations and why, then making a plan to start changing those behaviors in a way that reduces the negative impacts. It is going to take a lot of time. And he says, if you're not in debt, you're not living the American dream, LOL.
Very fair.
I feel that.
Yeah, but yeah, I think maybe create a budget, create an outline so that he knows, like, you're doing good. You don't need to feel bad about spending money. I've met people that are this way. They feel bad about spending money or feel bad about getting stuff. And the worst part is, as she said, is sometimes that behavior can start rubbing off on people around them. Where you feel bad now for buying the new shoes that you do need. It's not just that you want them, but you do need them. But also, if you have the money to buy something that you want, don't feel bad about buying something that you want.
That's what it's for. That's what the money is for.
That's what you work hard for, so that you can treat yourself sometimes. So don't feel bad about that. And so to me, it's okay to be frugal, and that's fine. You can save money and you can budget and you can have all of these great savings to maybe spend on in your retirement, whatever. But also don't let your frugalness, I don't even know if that's a word, stop you from having common sense.
Mm-hmm.
Because to me, there's a lack of common sense here. Because if you have, shoes that are falling apart, clothes that have holes in them, and you're eating moldy food, then you're not using your common sense to spend the money on the things that you need. So, you can be frugal and still spend money on things that you need.
Yeah. I also, talking to our girl here, okay, let me make a new rule for love 'em or leave 'em, that you kind of need to include some of the redeeming qualities of the person. Because reading this, I'm like, I don't like doing the love 'em or leave 'ems and roommate debates or whatever, and just being like, well, why don't you break up with them or move?
Right.
Because that's not just realistic.
But yeah,
and there's
she
a reason.
didn't include any
but
good
I don't
stuff.
see the positives here. So all I'm seeing is a guy who
gets mad.
Yeah, right. Has a lot of issues.
Yeah.
And you're not married. You don't have to do this.
No.
Is what I'm saying.
You don't have to put up with
sign
it.
up for this.
Yeah.
If there's a lot of redeeming qualities that you didn't include here, then the advice would be what William said, set a budget, go through and do a budget.
Sure.
But the other concern I would have is even if he may, the reason he may be upset about these things is also because maybe he's not got a lot of money.
Yeah.
And maybe he's not making six figures, or maybe there are a bunch of expenses that are going out the door that you don't know about.
Right.
And so either way, I just really don't like the feel of this at all.
Yeah.
And so you don't have to sign up for it.
You definitely don't, but have an honest conversation first before you just, jump ship.
If you have a love 'em or leave 'em situation, email mornings@radiou.com. Include the redeeming qualities, the reason why you love them in the first place. We're heading into graduation season. One thing to definitely be thinking a lot about as you plan your future, going to college, whatever you're doing going forward, AI. 8772 Radio U, or the talkback button in the Radio U app. I have a report here from the Associated Press talking about how college students now, or people going into college, really need to think about AI proofing their college majors.
Okay.
Because you don't want, and this is a big fear among students going into college, you don't want to go to college and have a major, it's specialized in one area only for you to get into, finish college and not be able to find a job in that area because AI has basically replaced those jobs that would exist there.
Right.
It says that 70% of college students view AI as a threat to their future jobs.
Ooh, I mean, it's a big thing. We're not turning back from artificial intelligence. The cat's out of the bag. So it's definitely something that you're going to need to contend with if you're trying to look for a job right now. You're going to need to prove either that you know how to use AI or that you're better than AI. You can do more.
Right. Yeah. And so when they're talking about AI proofing your college major, as in doing something that AI probably won't be able to do soon.
Yep.
Some of the things they recommend are marketing, healthcare, natural sciences, and
art,
because those are things that AI is not as good at yet.
Yeah.
But I would caution that, I guess, this is not helpful, but it's just sad to think about, whatever you think AI might not be very good at right now.
There's working on it right now.
Yeah, there's no guarantee that it won't.
Right.
Because I think going back in time, you would have thought even our jobs, we talk for a living.
Yeah.
You might have thought AI, that's pretty AI safe. But there are literally there are whole entire radio stations now in the United States that only have AI DJs.
Exactly. There's entire radio stations. Spotify now gives you your own DJ, and that's AI. And so AI is taking over every job a little bit. There's aspects of every job where artificial intelligence is now involved.
So I don't know how that, what is the lesson to be learned there? What can you actually, in my heart, I want to say, just do what you want to do anyways, because AI could be coming for anything.
Right.
And the other thing too, right? Because I see somebody here that, basically I don't just want to know how to, you don't just want to be able to code.
Yeah.
Because AI can do that. But it wasn't that long ago that when you were going into college, it was oh, you should definitely learn tech stuff.
Right.
Because that's the future. But then it's now, although that's not completely it's not useless to know tech, but at the same time, AI is doing so much of that tech stuff that it's really not as valuable as it would have seemed at the time.
Right. Like everybody was being told, go into a STEM field, go learn how to code and all of that. And now a lot of those fields have been not taken over by AI, but they've been significantly altered by AI.
The truth is you should probably not go to college and become a plumber or an electrician.
Yes.
Or
those jobs are still safe.
Yeah,
those are
do
100% AI proofed.
It doesn't sound as fun necessarily, but sometimes I wish I was a construction worker.
Yeah, I was going to say construction working is safe too.
Nobody building anything wishes that though.
Thanks for listening to the RadioU Podcast. Don't forget to rate and review the show.